Imagine a woman walking down a crowded hallway. Someone bumps into her hard, but she is the one who immediately says, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Later, a waiter brings her the wrong drink. She apologizes again. "I'm sorry to bother you, but I actually ordered tea." Do you recognize yourself in these moments? Do you find yourself saying sorry when someone steps on your toe or even when you're just asking a simple question? It can feel like a reflex you can't control. We often tell ourselves we are just being nice, but over apologizing is actually a psychological puzzle, a way our brains try to keep us safe. To understand this habit, we must look at where it truly comes from and learn how to stand tall without the weight of unnecessary guilt. When we apologize too much, we are often dealing with something called conflict avoidance. This is a big phrase that just means we are really, really afraid of people being mad at us. For an over apologizer, a tiny bit of tension feels like a giant storm. If someone looks slightly annoyed, our brain sends out an emergency signal. We think, quick, say sorry. If I apologize, they won't stay mad. In this way, sorry becomes a shield. We use it to protect ourselves from the scary feeling of someone being disappointed in us. This is a form of people pleasing. It means we put everyone else's feelings in a pile and put our own feelings at the very bottom. We think that if we are perfectly nice and never get in the way, nobody can ever hurt us or leave us. We are bartering our dignity for a little bit of peace. To really understand this, we have to talk about how our bodies react to fear. You might have heard of fight or flight. That is when a cat sees a dog and either gets ready to scratch, fight, or runs away, flight. But there is another response called fawn. When a person fawns, they try to be as helpful, sweet, and obedient as possible to avoid a fight. Think of a dog wagging its tail and showing its belly when a bigger dog growls. The dog is saying, "See, I'm not a threat. Please don't hurt me." For many people, over apologizing is a fawn response. Their nervous system, the part of the body that controls our safety feelings, is stuck on high alert. Even when there is no danger, their brain thinks, if I don't apologize for breathing, something bad might happen. It is a way the body tries to calm down the people around them so that things stay quiet. Our brains learn how to act when we are very young. This is called childhood conditioning. Imagine a child growing up in a house where the adults were very grumpy, unpredictable, or strict. In that house, maybe the child learned that if they were perfect and always said sorry, the adults wouldn't get as angry. They learned that their job was to be a peacekeeper. If they made even a tiny mistake, like spilling a drop of milk, it felt like a disaster. So they started apologizing for everything to keep the peace. By the time that child becomes an adult, their brain is trained to believe that they are responsible for everyone else's mood. They carry a heavy backpack of guilt that doesn't even belong to them. They say sorry for the weather, sorry for the noise outside, and sorry for just existing. Now, here is something that might surprise you. People who apologize too much often end up feeling a lot of resentment. Resentment is that sour, itchy feeling of being mad but not being able to say it. You might think, how can someone so nice be mad? Well, think about it. If you are always saying sorry and always putting yourself last, eventually you start to feel like a doormat. You start to feel like nobody cares about your feelings. The sorry and the resentment actually come from the same place, a fear of being honest. We are too afraid to say, "Hey, you stepped on my foot." So we say, "Sorry, my foot was in your way." But deep inside, a part of us is screaming, "That hurt. Why didn't you apologize to me?" Because we don't feel allowed to be upset, that anger turns into a heavy weight that makes us feel tired and sad. So, how do we stop? We need a pattern interrupt. This is like hitting the pause button on a video game before you make a mistake. The next time you feel a sorry bubbling up in your throat, ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong? If you bumped into someone on purpose or forgot your homework, say sorry. But if you are just asking a question or if someone else bumped into you, try to wait. Instead of saying sorry, try saying thank you. For example, instead of saying, sorry I'm late, try, thank you for waiting for me. Instead of saying, sorry for bothering you, try, thank you for taking the time to help me. This small change is like magic. It turns a guilty feeling into a grateful feeling. It stops you from acting like you're in trouble and starts treating the other person like they are being kind. Here is the big psychological secret. You are allowed to take up space. You do not need to apologize for having a body that stands on the ground. You do not need to apologize for having a voice that speaks. You do not need to apologize for having needs. When you apologize too much, you are telling the world and yourself that you are a mistake. But you aren't. You are a human being. Human beings make noise, they have questions, and sometimes they get in the way. That is okay. The people who truly care about you don't want you to be a doormat. They want to know the real you. When you stop apologizing for everything, you start showing people that you respect yourself. And when you respect yourself, others learn to respect you too. The journey from I'm sorry to I'm here takes time. Your brain has been practicing the sorry habit for a long time, so it won't change overnight. That's okay. Every time you catch a sorry and turn it into a thank you or just a breath, you are winning. You are not a bother. You are not a problem. You are a person with a right to be here, just as much as anyone else. Let's put down that heavy backpack of guilt. It's too heavy for you to carry, and it was never yours to begin with. By letting go of useless apologies, you make room for real honesty and real friendships. This week, try to notice every time you say the word sorry. Ask yourself, was that for a real mistake or was I just feeling nervous? Try to choose one time each day to stay silent instead of apologizing for something small. How does it feel to just be yourself without asking for permission? Would you like me to help you come up with a list of thank you phrases to use instead of sorry?